Yo, it's Tuesday, May 9th. Kyle's in Chicago. I'm in Syracuse. Today we're talking about lithium refining in Texas, a Fortnite dashboard, and AI taking your order in the drive-thru lane. How about that?
Oh boy. I feel like we're gonna have some opinions today.
Good night. Give me one example of a time you were in a drive-thru where you were like, gosh, I wish AI was taking my order instead. Every time.
I think basically every time that I'm in a drive-thru, I think, why am I in a drive-thru? So
right,
like
something's already gone wrong.
Parking and going in, like I'm like, this is gonna go wrong. I'm gonna
Something's already gone wrong. I know.
Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, it's bad situation. If I
feel okay in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru, but I typically get in the really long line, order my food on the app, and then I just pull up and be like, I'm already here.
That's exactly what I do.
Especially when you have a family.
Like,
dude, exactly. I have the most anxiety ever when ordering for my family because, like, I'm gonna ruin my family relationships because I'm like, come on, right? I just
you can't do it because like the kids in the back like catch up.
All right, we're already sideways. We are just having a good old time. Kyle's running around the Chicago at David King 20 group yesterday and today. I'm holding down the fort here in Syracuse, but we have so much stuff planned and so many things are moving right now. We're going to be wheels up on our way to Las Vegas on Monday to moderate several panels and teach our own workshop at the Reuters automotive retail event on the, what is it, the 16th and the 17th. We're also doing a collab podcast with Reuters called Amplify, where we got some people on that show we've never had a conversation with before.
Full ringers. I was looking them up last night. I was like,
ringers.
You sure they know that's us? Okay.
Any minute they're gonna figure out it's us. Any minute now. I had a
they would be like, these guys, they got flat brims on. You kidding me?
We had some prep calls, so we were on with like the global brand director for Ford and the service fix ops director at Nissan, and I can't remember his position, but he's with Karma. And like, this is just a group of people that are just thinking of things in a whole different way. And one of the reasons we do things we do the way we do them at Asoto is to constantly work to bridge the gap between dealers and OEMs, because the consumer is pinned right in the middle of those two. And so anything we can do to bring some stability in those relationships and linear narratives in those relationships, we think is good for the entire industry.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one because we've got OEM representatives, we've got dealer representatives, and we've got industry partner representatives that will be interviewed kind of like intermingled into each other. So I think we'll see these threads of like, how are we caring about the common view of the customer and making sure that the customer's at the center. And maybe we'll even just kind of, have a little change of heart for some people.
I think it's going to be a moment. It's going to be a moment. After that, I'm on my way to Indianapolis to be at Gary Vaynerchuk's VCon. It's a Web3 conference. We're trying to bring all the things. Our event director is going out, so he's going to try to bring all the good things so we can bring them back for AsotoCon. Let's face it. We're just trying to steal the best ideas so we can deploy them at AsotoCon.
Just doing R&D. Just doing a little R&D. Oh, on the 24th, Paul, we're doing the live stream premiere of More Than Cars. You can go to morethancars.tv to check out the trailer on that.
2 weeks.
And head right to the LinkedIn event. We'll stream it on YouTube as well. So if you're like, I don't do LinkedIn, you can see it on YouTube. That is May 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Back that all the way up for
circle the date right now.
Zones.
Circle the date, May 24th, because we need to show up as the industry on the live stream and show everyone outside the live stream and outside the industry that there is something special going on inside retail auto dealers all over the country. This is a way you can do it and participate and help us make that a reality. That's enough. We have some news to talk about today.
Let's go.
All right. So Tesla is now the first automaker to enter the lithium refining space as it breaks ground on a massive Texas lithium refinery capable of producing enough lithium for 1 million electric vehicle batteries by the year 2025. I don't know if you noticed, that's only like 18 months from now.
Yeah, that's not long. That's not very long. That's, a couple years. So
they say it'll be online. It'll be online in a year. And then, first of all, that's crazy. There's a rendering if you link. It'll be online in a year, and then it'll be up to full capacity, they said, within 2 years. And so they're claiming, give you a couple details. They're claiming a much cleaner, actually, they're innovating the lithium refining process using much cleaner materials and processes, things like soda ash. And Elon Musk says you could live in the middle of this factory without suffering any ill effects from the processes going on. Texas Governor Greg Abbott was on hand at the announcement, and he said, just wait for the nuance on this one. It is so Texas. So Texas. Texas wants to be self-reliant. Yep. Not dependent. He goes, upon any foreign hostile nation for what we need. Like, I was like, that's a Texas statement.
And,
right?
and then he ended it with including the U.S.
Including.
He's like, and we're now announcing we're seceding now that
right. Now we got the lithium. We got the cars.
Tesla. We got lithium. We got cars. We got oil. We're good.
We have Michael Cirillo. We have Michael Cirillo, so we're over. In a call last year, Elon Musk actually begged entrepreneurs to get into the lithium refining business. And he said, it's just like printing money. He said, we don't want to have to get into it. We hope somebody else does. Nobody did, and it was their only viable way. They said to secure their lithium supply. The company, like I said, did share a rendering of the new Corpus Christi, Texas facility. So, I mean, this is new ground, right? We're not just making the batteries. Yeah. We're refining the raw material.
Yeah, no, and this is where OEMs, automakers, are going to have to look to move a lot more vertically, and they're going to have to align their supply chain all the way down to the battery. And I think we're going to see probably more OEMs doing this, because if they're that this thing is going to be capable of producing enough lithium for 1 million vehicles by 2025, that's like chump change compared to what the industry is going to put out before 2025, based on all the numbers that we've seen that OEMs are talking about. So we're going to have to get really good, really quickly at figuring out how to care for and refine lithium. So, you know, Tesla being an early mover, we see that a lot. If I had to guess, we're going to see companies like Ford and GM and Stellantis kind of hanging on the coattails and figuring out what they're going to do on this as well, especially with battery requirements, with some of these tax credits, and just like getting everything aligned and centralized so that we can produce these vehicles quicker. You know, because this is our only electric, well, there's a little EV story here in a second, but it's a little bit more technical.
It's just a mention. Just a mention.
Anecdotally, I was with a buddy last night that lives in Chicago, and kind of all of his friends are going, you got to get, you know, they've got a growing family. You got to get a Tesla. You got to get a Tesla. You got to get a Tesla. And, you know, his hesitation was similar. Like, they're in Chicago. He's like, I'm always driving around downtown. Where am I going to charge if I get stopped? Right. There's not a ton of chargers in parking garages or anything like that here. So it's a real kind of question mark that people are still asking. And so even with the acceleration and adoption of the actual vehicle purchasing, the other side of it is still, still lots of question marks.
There sure are. You know, our good friend Todd Caputo posted on LinkedIn just a few days ago that his friend has an EV6, a Hyundai EV6, and got in an accident. And it's going to take 6 months to repair that sucker. And he was like, insurance companies aren't going to stand for this. Customers are going to stand for this. Like, there's still all these ancillary things that we just haven't solved yet, but we are solving the lithium refining issue, at least taking a step toward it. And isn't it? And Brian Ortega comments in the thread, oh, the irony, right? Think about it. Texas, big oil. Well, now they're just back to raw materials, refining the raw materials, putting it in vehicles. They kind of got that little playbook buttoned up. Okay, speaking of having things buttoned up,
putting things in vehicles.
Putting things in vehicles. Yeah, we'll just go super generic. Auto tech company ECARX is set to announce its partnership with Epic Games. Yes, familiar, the creator of Fortnite, to integrate their Unreal Engine into vehicle displays. The Unreal Engine, if you don't know about it, is basically the technology that allows the rendering of the graphics, the smooth motion. It builds all these realities out of digital ones and zeros. Primarily designed for EVs, the collaboration will enable drivers to interact with 3D visuals of gauges and car control features in real time to provide a more immersive experience and be a differentiator. Their current clients include companies like Volvo, Mercedes-Benz, Smart. Here's a quote from also Lincoln Co. You might know that startup company. Christine Gall, head of human machine interface and user experience. How's that for a job title? She says, serious job title. Sure is. It is the experience that will make you reach the tipping point and actually decide to buy something.
Now that'll get me all fired up right there, because and I don't care if it's a digital experience or like a process experience. it is the experience
He's
of
right.
whether or not you decide to buy something, the experience that you get on the other side. It'll be interesting to me to whether or not like this is a native or comfortable way of engaging with the vehicle, just because it's never been done before. I think, consumers are gonna, question like, hey, how does 3D engage with what I'm doing in my vehicle, and can I kind of like process that and engage with it at the same time while still being,
Have
a
you
good driver?
ever watched a 20 something or a teen play a video game?
It's
They are not
nuts.
thinking
Yeah,
about how do I engage with this and that. They
that's
like
true.
it's so native.
It's so
I think it,
native. Yep.
even the way things are going to move is probably going to be so native. Now, granted, there's going to be in the adoption curve, right? So if you're under 35, you probably don't play a ton. I mean, exceptions for sure, but like my 16-year-old son would probably step in and be like, "Oh yeah, this feels normal, right?
This is
I can
natural. Yeah,
I can
that's
navigate
true.
this whole world and just do it naturally." So the China in the article, it does mention that the Chinese market is much more progressive in its adoption of like infotainment experience and different gauges
Yep.
and customizations. The US then generally takes a more slower and measured approach, which makes a lot of sense as well. I wonder how this is going to kind of come together with all the talk we've been seeing about Apple CarPlay and all that, right? Like now it's like a whole other realm thrown into it. And I
Yeah,
mean,
that's not even in your phone's ecosystem. That's a whole gaming ecosystem, and I do agree. Like, but it's interesting that like typically you don't think as Volvo, Benz, and Smart as a younger buying demographic. So,
correct. It's true.
just
Very true.
to see what the adoption curve on something like that, when the actual vehicle on the new vehicle side is not the buying demographic, or does the buying demographic shift? Right?
Yep.
Does new money actually go over there because it's more native of a digital experience inside your driving experience? Maybe.
Oh man. Well, US owned Epic Games is located in Cary, North Carolina, which if you've never been there, you realize it's just people from New York and Philadelphia, which is why Cary, CARY, stands for Containment Area for Relocated Yankees. And ECARX is actually a Chinese company headquartered in London. There were some questions that came up about like, hey, with all the news about ByteDance and TikTok and the security features, ECARX was really quick to say, doesn't apply to us. We don't touch any of the data, right? Like we don't touch the data. We just create the experience. So speaking of creating an experience,
That's
segue.
nailed it. CKE Restaurant Holdings, actually headquartered in my home city, right near Nashville, the parent company of popular fast food chains Carl's Jr. and Hardees, is taking a bold step towards automating drive-thrus by partnering with AI companies Presto Automation, OpenCity, and Valiant AI to introduce voice ordering automation at drive-thru locations across the country.
Sounds amazing.
Basically, the initiative is the goal is to increase the accuracy, speed, and revenue while addressing the obvious staffing shortages that they're dealing with right now. CKE's CTO, their Chief Technology Officer, Phil Crawford, said a pilot program with Presto showed positive results, recording a significant uptick in revenue due to the technology's ability to upsell customers. This is like the next version.
Upsell.
Well, this is the next version of what McDonald's did with the on-screen ordering, where you don't actually talk to a person, and they recognize like a 25 cent per, it was something like 25 or 30 cent per order increase
in ticket
because
sales?
of its ability to like, increase of the actual ticket. So just because of the ability to like present the user with the next best thing or the
With
next
those
best
apple
upgrade
pies. With those
a quick
apple
click,
pies.
right? Got them with the apple pies. And so,
Nice.
they didn't have the way to do that in the drive-thru, and this is a clear way to do that. It's interesting because nobody hates the over the drive-thru thing, but removing that human element, there's always that kind of like interesting balance. Are people going to enjoy that or not? Now, if it's clear, it's clean, it's an easy process, and you're not like, I want a chicken, a chicken burger, and they come out with, the regular meat burger, then, if that doesn't happen, I think everyone's going to be okay. But I don't want my fries instead of a shake or something like that. So
yeah, I mean, we will see how it goes. And like, obviously, even in the auto space, we see a bunch of companies, deploying AI to move customers around a call system to get things scheduled and appointments booked. So, I mean, there's obviously, I feel like the things you can say in a situation like that are a lot more unknown than something you're going to say with a defined menu with like 50 or so items, where it's like, okay, it's going to be something like this. It seems like a little more of a controlled experience, but you know what it's going to avoid? I don't know who does it most, or if everybody does it now or whatever, but like you pull up to a Burger King and it's like, hey, how are you? Can I please place your order? Blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that was really pleasant. I'm like, I'll have this, this, and this. And then you realize like that's not actually the person there. And then they're like, please pull up.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait,
right.
So if AI can fix that, but granted, like, you know, the drive-thru experience isn't usually a great one. And so it'll be interesting to see how AI does in drive-thru. It feels like it needs to be like a little faster. We'll see how fast it goes.
Right.
Because people at the drive-thru, they're ready to fire. They're hungry. They're in their car. They got somewhere to go. And it's like, if there's that like 3-second pause between what you say and what comes back, we'll see. But hey, in an earnings call, the Presto CEO, Rajat Suri, said the company's AI never forgets to upsell, and upsells better than a human. So we'll let the sales do the talking, I guess.
There it is. Hey, got to get that money. Yeah.
Well, we all got to go get that money. You got to go serve people, right? In the auto business, you can make a lot of money. You can also serve a lot of people. When you serve a lot of people, you make a lot of money. So go out there. It's Tuesday. Go serve some people. Make money. All that.